Directions for your overlapping pumpkins. Name and teacher code on the back. Begin by drawing a line that's about 1 or 2 fingers from the bottom of your paper. This will be your ground. It does not have to be straight. You'll be drawing multiple pumpkins on your paper. I'm going to do a small, medium, and large. I will start with the smallest, and what you do to begin drawing your pumpkin is you draw a line for the center part of your pumpkin, and this line will stop at the line that is for your ground. Then you're going to add a smile, and check to make sure if this is your smallest that it's not too teeny tiny. Then you're going to add 2 curved lines for the stem, and then another smile shape, and a little hill to complete your stem. Now we're going to add some curved lines to complete our pumpkin. So you're going to curve that line down and swoop until you touch that center line you created. And you're going to repeat this process until you have a pretty good size pumpkin. Yours might have more lines or less lines than mine. It really just depends on how large you do. And if you notice, I could fit like 4 fingers inside, so it's still a good size small pumpkin. I'll add my medium sized pumpkin. That's going to be a bit taller than my smallest. So my line, my center line will be taller, stopping at the same spot, adding the smile shape. Now when I add the curved lines of the stem, I'm going to have them curve the different direction than my first one. And your little smile shape and your hill shape. And then we start adding those curved lines to complete the drawing of our pumpkin. Make sure that they're touching your ground line and that you're making your pumpkin grow to a nice big size. Last, I'll add my largest pumpkin that is behind my 2 smaller ones. You start the same way by creating that line and a smile. This time it's going to be fairly big, so definitely check with your fingers to make sure it's big enough. Same curved lines, they can go whatever direction you want. You can make your stem a little skinnier at the top if you choose, just to make it a little different than the others. Remember, you're stopping your lines and continuing them where they're going to appear. So you're not drawing through the pumpkins that are on your paper, you're stopping and starting your lines. Make sure your pumpkin's pretty big. All 3 of your pumpkins should pretty much fill up your paper space. When you've perfected your pencil lines, use a Sharpie to retrace carefully all of your pencil lines. As a reminder, your pumpkins should be pretty big. If you look at the amount of space around the edge, there isn't much, and I can fit part of my hand inside of the pumpkins and pretty much 2 hands inside of my largest. You'll be using warm and cool colors for certain parts of your project. Definitely take a peek at the color wheel if you forget. Cool colors will be best for the sky. You can do blues and purples and even the magenta if you'd like. Remember, when you're adding paint, you're going to be very careful and lift up your brush every time that you add a little bit more paint to your paper. If you're getting up next to an edge or next to a line that you were drawing, use the tippy top of your brush, and that's very helpful for staying inside of the lines. So here I'll demonstrate for you as I use the very, very tippy top when I get right next to my pumpkin. Go slow with your brush strokes, very tippy top. Go really, really slow around those lines and do your best to stay inside of the lines. Remember, when you're painting in a small space, it's super important to use the very tippy top of your brush. You may want to scrape off the extra paint on your paint cup. If you need to, you could also use a smaller green brush. For the pumpkins, you'll be using warm colors. I like to start with yellow to get some of the bright areas in there first. That way I can see where to stop when I'm using the darker colors, because if you paint on top of these with the darker colors, it will tend to kind of disappear. You can always go back and add more yellow later, just know it won't be quite as bright. Then I'll go ahead and go in with the orange and paint most of my pumpkin in orange and overlap my yellow just a little bit. Remember to use the top of your brush when you're getting in those small spaces. And last, I then go in with a little bit of red, and then I go back and do some slight touch-ups with the lighter colors. First, grab a piece of cardboard and slide your project on, and then carefully walk it and place it on the drying rack.